Hi there. I'm Jan Porter, and I am the author of Sacred Space: Body, Mind, and Soul After Sexual Abuse. That is, that's just a copy of proof copy of the cover of the book, AmazonKindle.com. And I just thought I'd take a few minutes today to address some questions, popular questions that people are asking of me. First of all, I am a survivor. I was molested as a child and date raped a couple of times. You might think that I was probably one of the most naive kids along the block, but I know I'm not alone. The reason that I rewrote the book, it it's something that when you've been through a traumatic experience and overcome it, life goes on. And yet, every once in a while, these issues come around again, whether it's for yourself, because life is cyclical, or someone that you know, or is something as simply as knowing that 1 in 4, that's mind blowing. It just boggles my mind that this is still such a huge issue. And in Canada, according to the statistics out of BC University, 1 every 17 minutes. Wow. Okay, there's some bigger issues going on here. Without a doubt, it's a global issue, it's a social issue. So if you're feeling alone, know that you are in good company, and there are millions of people who make it their life vocation to help you through your healing journey back into wholeness. The first and probably most important thing that I'd like you to know is that if you can look at it from a broader perspective, that throughout history in pretty much every culture around the world, sexual assault and molestation is found. There are a few higher evolved cultures where it doesn't exist, but pretty much throughout the world. So it's a much bigger issue than something that's just happening to you. Now, the other thing, what sets sexual molestation, abuse, and assault apart from other sorts of assault is that it's intimately intrusive. It's not just something that happens to the outside of our body. This is intimately personal. It's an invasion, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and psychically. Um, so taking a look at how you actually move past that trauma. And the analogy that I quite often use is if you look at it as a computer system where a Trojan or a virus has got in and infected, embedded files there that don't belong. That's really important to keep in mind. They don't belong there. They don't belong inside of you. They're not yours. But if you look at it as a computer system, that computer system and programming can be cleaned out. It can be rewired. Those post-traumatic stress neurons, they keep firing fight and flight responses, and those neurons can be healed in time. They can be healed with all sorts of different modalities. You have to navigate and trust your own instincts and intuition, which modality suits you best at what time. Some people prefer the privacy of beginning exploration and healing journey with self-help. Others need to boldly attend a group or counseling, or just simply dealing with the legal system. It is really important that you Don't let go of your instincts. You have to keep trusting that. Um, that inclination, that innate wisdom that you have. Really important not to let that go. Don't throw that out with the water of post-traumatic stress. There are so many little tricks and skills and tips that I can share with you. I don't have time in this video, obviously. Pretty much everything that's covered in the book is everything that I've learned over the years. I'm not just a survivor and a writer. Um, I was in human services most of my adult life. I'm post-menopause, and I love that. That also brings a different kind of objectivity and perspective when looking back on life and where I got tripped up and my stuck points. Um, Life is oddly comes around again and again so that you can learn. The other thing is if you can try and find it in yourself, and everyone has it, it's that little seed of something of value in yourself. That's fundamentally the most important thing that you're going to do. Reclaiming your body, your mind, your soul, your psyche, and your heart and your life, and reclaiming that as sacred space. No one really can do that for you, and unfortunately that's the inside job for everyone's journey, no matter what they're dealing with. So if I could impart anything to you, it's hanging on to that. That is your birthright. It's what you came here to do. Happiness really is an attitude. You can get glimpses of it and pieces of it with what you do for a living or things that you're proud of, fulfilling, loving relationships. But at the end of the day, the most important thing that you're ever going to do is have a relationship with yourself. And it's attitude, it's an audacious attitude of not letting anyone else's soul sickness or mental illness or dysfunction or issues ruin your life and your quality of life. As a grandmother, a friend, a counselor, a spiritual counselor, if there's any one thing that I could wish for you to impart to you is that, number one, happiness, fulfillment, your mind, body, and soul, and your psyche is your sacred space. It's attitude. Channel that residue, the fear, the anger, the frustration, the confusion, the overwhelmment. Channel it all into audaciously claiming yourself, your life as you are. You came here into this lifetime wildly and profoundly smarter, loving, with unique skills and gifts that no one else has quite like you do. You came here to share those gifts with the world. And with sexual assault and molestation, it's a powerful temptation just to close in, shut down, and cocoon, or the opposite is to wildly act out. It takes a lot of practice staying in balanced, and you've got to have your people. Don't try to do it all on your own. There are traditional counseling resources available in every city. Go shopping. Trust your intuition and your instincts on what is best for you at what time. Start somewhere. Be careful of sliding into giving your power away on a regular basis. You have to keep that and claim that for yourself. Don't give it away anymore. When you look back, as I have the opportunity now, I'm pushing 60, so I have a lifetime of insight and wisdom. When I look back, probably the biggest waste of energy is assuming other people's expectations, guilt, shame, pain, fear. We end up playing a role, and it's such a waste of energy. I don't want you to get to the end of your lifetime and look back and have that regret. It's an attitude. No one gets to dictate that for you. You really have to powerfully make your primary mission is self-care and loving yourself just as you are, not to anyone else's standards or expectations, to yours. And those standards are what gives you the sincerest happiness, fulfillment, so that you can have balance, feel like you belong and making a contribution to your family or your community, extended family and community, and your work and activities. It takes discipline, and you can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. The other thing that I want to add in here that no one else is talking about is probably one of the hardest aspects to deal with is the whole idea around spirituality and religion. And it's pretty damn hard to imagine that there is some sort of loving God or Allah or creator or angel. When you look back on the horrible things that you've been through, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, is all I can say. I've spent many, many, many years working on this and working with a lot of other people just as yourselves. And I can assure you, it will not make sense right now. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to figure out an offender's mindset. Make the focus your own and your own relationship with the all that is. Even if you choose to be an atheist, most atheists will admit that being an altruist, living a good life and being happy, it doesn't matter what you call it. There's a thread in every religion and spirituality, as well as in basic quantum physics. It's what our ancestors all knew. It's what indigenous cultures know and understand, that even though someone has hurt you badly, there's a divine plan, and there are so many things that happen to us in a lifetime that just aren't going to make sense for a long time. It's one of those where you take the exam and then you spend the rest of your life in class understanding and learning from it. Most of our most life-defining moments and people that we might consider a nemesis, unfortunately, and it's a real pain in the butt to think this way, but the adage is really true. These are our greatest teachers, and there will come a point in your life where you're probably not going to be grateful for that particular experience, but you are going to be profoundly grateful for the learning and the gifts that came with that healing journey. Honestly, usually when people at least a year past when they've been in their healing journey, if you're a woman, having some soul sisters and some sort of sense of sisterhood where you have a safe place to heal and grow, or the same similarly with men, some sort of brotherhood support system is everything. And as for your your power and your skill and your smarts, you have so much more going on inside of you and in your spirit and your soul that you don't even have any idea yet just how smart, wise, savvy, powerful you really are. It's an unfortunate way to bring out these gifts in you and these skills and abilities and character, but it really is true that they will bring these out in you. One of the other aspects that traditional counseling really doesn't talk about enough yet, the whole idea behind quantum physics and the power over thought and law of attraction and all that sort of thing. Deal with those issues and those learning aspects when you're ready to. But one thing that I do want to impart with you today that's really, really important, and even if your mind can't buy into it right now, or you're just not ready, I want to assure you that life is ultimately good and working in your favor. There are so many people in different modalities who make it their life vocation to help people just as yourself come into wholeness and balance and heal. It doesn't matter whether your inclination is to follow a traditional counseling method, strictly self-help, or one of the alternative energy healers or spiritual healing. Trust your own instincts, your own inner guidance. It has to feel good. It has to feel like it's setting your soul free. And don't get too caught up into terminology or concepts. Just stay focused on the things that you love to do, you enjoy doing, personal growth that'll get you there. The other thing that is not covered very much at all, well, historically in traditional counseling, is the whole idea behind what's really out there, the bigger picture. You have power in your DNA, in your ancestors, that goes back tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years, who knows how far back. You have powerful people, whether they were pioneers or warriors, sages, wise people, holy people, all different sorts of powerful bits of DNA floating around within yours. There's a power there. It's in you. The other, if you look at your lineage, in your cultural lineage, whatever your DNA, your background is, there really isn't a culture in the world that doesn't have some sort of ancient teaching or philosophy that helps you connect with the all that is, help you proclaim that. I'm not talking about religious doctrine. I'm not talking about any kind of creed, anything like that. I'm talking about the spirit of it. When we look at way, 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 way back in our ancestors and lineage, hunters and gatherers, they were connected with something powerful. They understood the basics of quantum physics, or how the cosmos work, natural laws of the universe. They had a sense of connection with each other and community, partly because survival depended on it. And let's face it, we need each other. And we all want to be happy, fulfilled, and make the world a better place. As you start considering these and claiming your own, you're actually helping someone else. There's someone else who looks up to you, whether it's a child, a friend, or an acquaintance. There's someone who is counting on you to reclaim yourself in a better way than you could ever have imagined. In every indigenous culture, in every ancient culture, they speak of the ancestors that are in spirit form, guides, angels, gods, goddesses, whatever you have an affinity for. Do some exploring, learning, and find out what's out there. Trust your instincts. I guess the way that I look at it, and it's just my opinion, in the last several hundred years we've gotten so far away from that. Scientists who really didn't have an understanding or the technology to test it. There's power out there for you to help you reclaim yours and your life. And it's not something that someone can come along and do and just go, boom. And, well, it does happen, spontaneous healing and miracles. But usually the healing journey back to wholeness and the sacred art of transformation, it really is a series of little incremental, sometimes big ones, sometimes little ones, and all those incremental little pieces of the puzzle that come together, and it's cyclical. So your learning and your understanding will be tested here and there. The other thing I want to comment on before I totally get off topic here is one of the biggest questions, most popular questions I get asked is forgiveness. My sense of forgiveness is really nothing to do with religion. It's detaching from that person that's soul sick, dysfunctional. We used the analogy of having a computer virus or a Trojan. What you're doing is you're consciously, emotionally, mentally, and psychically and spiritually, you're unhooking from that person and their sickness. And it takes practice doing that. And it's the healthiest thing to do because ultimately none of that belongs to you. Your personal responsibility is your own wholeness and health. And if you're really, really stuck on this issue, there was a great quote on Facebook months and months ago that I saw that perfectly summed it up. And sometimes the easiest way to forgive or to unhook and detach from someone else's sickness or craziness. And let me see, how did it go? The easiest path to forgiveness is sometimes just simply understanding that that person, that nemesis, is just batshit crazy. And that should help enough for you to reclaim who you are. It can make you crazy trying to figure them out. Don't. Leave that to the professionals for now, because number one, more than anything else, primary importance is for you to find yourself again, to claim it in a bigger, powerful, smarter, stronger, happier, more fulfilled way. Really, today, that's all that matters. The book is called Sacred Space, Body, Mind, and Soul After Sexual Abuse. Lots of resources, lots of little exercises, boosters, inspiration. There's a meditation journey, and wow, when I was writing it, amazing. So I share that with you. If you look, I'm assuming that you're looking at this video on YouTube. So if you have a look below, you'll see that there are a handful of meditation quotes, angel journey. Have a look if any of those align with you and your healing path. Enjoy them. They don't cost anything. I thoroughly enjoyed writing and doing those, so they're free. Please use them. The book is on Amazon.com, and I believe it's Kindle and Create Space. So if you don't have a Kindle, you can download the Kindle app or whatever it's called. It's free, and you can apparently use it on any sort of computer that you might have. Man, you can't beat the price. A lot has changed since traditional publishing when I first started some 30 years ago in my writing work. Um, And I think right now it's only about $4 on Kindle Amazon, and the hard copy is about 24, depending on where you live and whatever other charges. It's the accumulation of nearly 40 years of work, a lot of love, a lot of insight and wisdom. It's all the bits and savvy that, boy, I wish someone had shared with me when I was young and growing up, even as a child. Man, what a difference life would have made. So here I am, granny age, and I'm passing that on to you. And I wish you good friendships, good support, insights that set your soul and your spirit free. I wish you fulfillment and happiness, because please don't waste another moment in pain in someone else's deeds or doing or behavior. Claim your life, and blessings on your journey. It's Sacred Space. Kindle Amazon. You can see that okay. Blessings on your journey.